Welcome to How to Play Bridge. This will assume some knowledge of card games, and the goal of this video is to understand all of the rules to Bridge. So Bridge is played with a standard 52 card deck where aces are high. There are 4 players, each with 13 cards, and there are 2 teams of 2. You're seated opposite of your partner. So here in this example, North and South would be on the same team, and East and West would be on the same team. And the play goes clockwise. Bridge is a trick-taking game, so each player plays one card, and whoever plays the highest card wins. Then the cards are discarded, and the player that won plays again. It doesn't matter which player on a team wins a trick. If East and West each win one trick, that's 2 tricks, and that's added to their total. Only tricks matter. So there's some games where different cards are worth different points. In Bridge, only the number of tricks that your team makes matters. And players must follow suit. So if they cannot, they can discard anything, but they can't win the trick. The one exception to that is if you are in a suit contract where there's a trump suit. So if you're in a suit contract, that suit is the trump suit. That can be any one of the 4 suits. So to give an example in this, let's say that you're playing in no trump where there's no trump suit. South plays the king of hearts, West plays the ace of hearts, North plays the 7 of spades because they're out of hearts. They can't win this trick. And then East plays the 4 of hearts following suit. If this was a spade contract, so in this case, West would win with the ace of hearts. If this was a spade contract, however, where spade is trump, then North would win because they've discarded a spade. They have to be out of hearts to do so, but they played the highest spade, and spade is better than all of the other suits. If East was out of hearts, they could play a higher spade, like the 10 of spades, in which case East would win, and then they would lead again. In Bridge, there's the gameplay, which I've just explained, and there's an auction phase that happens after the cards are dealt, but before the gameplay, and that determines the contract, which I'll explain in a second. So you can think of Bridge as 2 parts. There's the auction, and then there's the gameplay. So the auction is kind of the complicated part for beginners in Bridge to understand. The auction determines the trump suit and how many tricks the team that decides the trump suit must take. So a team could win anywhere between 0 and 13 tricks, but since choosing the trump suit gives the team an advantage, then choosing a trump suit requires you to take a majority of the tricks, which is going to be at least 7. So you can't bid less than 7 tricks. Now a bid is a suit that you want to become trump, along with the number of tricks you'll take. But by convention, the tricks that you'll take will have 6 added to it. So the bidding starts at the 1 level, which is nicely demonstrated in this little diagram. But the 1 level has 6 added to it, which means you must take 7 tricks if you're at that level. So if you bid 1 club, then you're saying you want clubs to be the trump suit and that you will take 7 tricks. Now, these are all the contracts that are possible. You could go anywhere from 1 club, which is the lowest, up to 7 no trump, which means you would take 6 plus 7, which means all of the tricks. The other team will try to mess you up as you do so. More on this terminology later, but the minors are clubs and diamonds, and the majors are hearts and spades. And I'll go over more of these arrows in a second. So really quickly, how many tricks will you take in the following contracts? 1 no trump. I'll let you pause, but here we go. In 1 no trump, you would take 6 plus the 1 no trump. That's 7 tricks. What about 4 clubs? Well, 6 plus 4 is 10. You would need 10 tricks as a team. And what about 6 spades? 6 plus 6 is 12. So we need 12, and that is all but 1 trick. And spades would be trump. Now, in the auction phase, every player gets a chance to bid various bids from this little chart. If 3 players pass in a row, the last bid becomes the contract. And in order to bid, you have to bid higher than the previous bid. So the bid strength goes from right to left, right being the weakest, clubs, all the way up to no trump. And then as you go down this and go higher and higher, that is stronger than anything at the previous level. So if you bid 1 spade, then you could bid 2 clubs, since that's the higher level. But if you bid 2 spades, you can't go back and bid 2 diamonds. But you could bid 2 no trump. So here are some examples of some auctions. Here West has bid 1 diamond, and then 3 players have passed, so the contract is 1 diamond. Here, the next auction, 1 heart, 1 no trump, and all the other players have passed. 3 passes in a row, the last bid was 1 no trump, and that's the contract. Note that I've added who has declared that contract. In this case, it was West. They were the last ones. They bid a diamond. And here it's East because they bid 1 no trump. In this, it's 4 spades after West has last to bid 4 spades. Here, the contract is 2 spades, but I'll explain why in a second. It's actually going to be South that declared this contract. And here, I just wanted to show an example where you can pass and come back in the bidding. Here, North has made the contract, and it's 1 spade. Now, for example, in 1 spade, North-South team would have to take 7 tricks, and spades would be trump. Now, which player on a team chooses the contract is actually important. The first player on a team that bids the suit that becomes the trump becomes the declare. So if we come back to this example, South bid spades first on the North-South team, and then North bid 2 spades. So 2 spades is the contract, but South has bid spades first, and they are what's known as the declarer. So the team that chooses the contract can be the offense, and the team that doesn't, it can be considered the defense. And the player that chooses the contract is known as the declarer, and the partner of that person on offense is the dummy. Now, once bidding is over and the defense chooses a card to play, the dummy hand is placed face up for everyone to see. And the declarer and the dummy are on offense, and the other 2 players are on defense. So I know that might have gone a little bit quickly, but here are a few examples. In 3 no trump by South, where South is the declarer, North is the dummy, and will therefore play face up. And the North-South team, being on offense, will have to take 9 tricks in no trump because they've chosen no trump. In this example, this is the point of view from West. West can obviously see their own hand, and they're defending. They cannot see South, which is the declarer's hand, or East, which is their partner's hand, but they can see the dummy, which is played face up. In this next example, this is the point of view from South. They can see their partner's hand, and they can see their own. Obviously, this is a big advantage because you can kind of plan the gameplay, but they have to make 9 tricks in this 3 no trump contract. And the player that starts is the player that plays before dummy. So play goes clockwise. In this case, West would start, and that's called the opening lead. Then the declarer will play for the dummy. So South would play for North here. So for the scoring, once all the tricks are played, then you count those up, and the round gets scored. If the offense gets if the offense gets to their contract, they get some points with a bonus for each additional trick. If the offense does not get to their contract, the defense gets points with a bonus for every additional trick. So for example, if the North-South pair in this made 9 tricks, they would have made their contract. If they get 10, they get additional points. If they get 8, they've messed up their contract, and the East-West defenders will get some points. Now, points can be written as plus or minus, but they're symmetrical. So North-South plus 100 is the same as East-West minus 100. The exact scoring is a bit convoluted, and we'll go over that in the future. It's not really important right now. So to summarize, teams of 2 with your partner opposite from you. Each player gets 13 cards from a normal 52-card deck where aces are high. There are 2 phases, the auction, where you bid in order to find out which team is offense and which is defense, how many tricks the offense must take, and what the trump suit is. Phase 2 is the gameplay where the cards are played. The dummy is face up, and the declarer plays for them. If a contract's made, the offense gets points. If not, the defense gets points. And that's it. I hope now you at least understand the rules, and we'll come back for more.